and by Authentic Brand. Look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. Get your game day gear online at authentic-brand.com. Now, here is your host, Rob Brooks.
Well, it's been a great start to the week for the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team as Iowa has defeated Indiana 2 times in a row. And that's the really good news is you can't win the second one unless you get the first. And the Hawkeyes did a great job in Bloomington taking care of the Hoosiers 88-81, getting off to a terrific start. And then coming back and really coming back in the third and fourth quarters against Indiana on Monday night. Tremendous atmosphere inside Carver Hawkeye Arena to take care of the Hoosiers 96-91. And of course, this is Hawk Talk presented by Oakdale with Coach Bluder. We've got a lot on tap for you for this Wednesday night show as we are traveling to Rutgers to take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights on Thursday night. That is a 7 o'clock Central tip. So we'll be on the air at 6:45 before the home finale. Senior night on Sunday at 3 o'clock, Iowa and the Michigan Wolverines. And we'll certainly talk about those 2 games. But, Coach, what a whirlwind this has been with a Saturday afternoon game in Bloomington, a Monday night contest inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. I didn't know quite what to expect with back-to-back games against the same opponent in the regular season. But, boy, did it turn out okay.
Yeah, it sure did. Anytime you can sweep a Big Ten opponent, let alone a team that was ahead of you in the standings and was ranked in the top 10 in the country, that's a pretty good weekend. So thankfully came out on the top end of that. You know, the game at Indiana, I thought was the first 3 quarters were as good of basketball as I've seen out of our team all year. And it was just great to have McKenna Warnock back.
Yeah, how big is that? I mean, we know that we certainly missed her. Get her back in the starting lineup, and there she responds with 21 points and 6 rebounds after missing several games.
Yeah, I mean, 21 points, like you said, and she shot the ball so well. I mean, you're talking 6 for 8 from the field and 3 for 4 from three-point line, a perfect 6 for 6 from the free throw line, 2 offensive rebounds. I mean, what a way. Welcome back, McKenna. I mean, how much do we miss her? You know, not only is it like the depth that we missed, but it's her physical presence because she can really guard anybody. She can guard a guard. She can guard a post player. She's physical enough to be able to do that. And she rebounds for us, and she's our best 3-point shooter during conference play. So that was a big loss having her out, and we sure are excited to have her back.
Yeah, that's the best news by far. And then you talked about the start of that game at Indiana, Coach, at 25-11, just shot the ball remarkably well and knocked down some 3-pointers and really felt that kind of set the tone on the road because, hey, this is a team that at the time was 5th in the country. It's their senior day. They've got a ton to play for, as do the Hawks. But I thought that just made a statement there in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and they had a great crowd, and it's kind of like we just took them out. We took them out for those first 3 quarters and really didn't make that crowd too much of a factor. So that was nice. But we shot the ball well, like you said, to begin the game. But we also defended. I mean, we held them 4 for 15 from the field, 26% shooting in that first quarter. So our defense was just as good as our offense to begin this game.
Yeah, certainly can't forget about the defense, and especially the defense, too, on Monday we'll talk about. But 5 starters in double figures, that's what you love to see, and got it. And Caitlin had 12 assists, and that was, you like to talk about, pretty basketball.
I mean, I love to see 5 players in double figures. And unfortunately, it hasn't happened enough for us this year, but it happened at Indiana. And then, like you said, with Caitlin getting those 12 assists, I mean, I don't know, you know, and plus we out-rebounded them. We out-rebounded them by 14 and did a good job on the offensive boards. You know, we got 35% of offensive boards, which is good for us. And it just, you know, you got to remember, they were undefeated at home in conference play until that day.
And led for 38 minutes and 43 seconds. Indiana never led in the contest and won the first 3 quarters. And then you also talk about the bench. Obviously, with the injuries, you're down to 7 players there for a couple of weeks. But the experience of an Addie O'Grady, a Tomi Taiwo, Kylie Feuerbach, boy, that's going to really not only add to what it has the last 2 games, but also what we've got coming up.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy played over 20 minutes in this game, so over half the game, and she was a perfect shooting 2 for 2 from the field, and played some really good defense for us. Kylie was also 1 for 2 from the 3-point range and a perfect 2 for 2 for the line. So Kylie, that 3 she hit was huge for us as well. Gabby hit a big 3 and Kylie hit a big 3 for us. Our 3-point field goal percentage for this game was 53%. That's amazing. 10 out of 19 from 3-point range. And the fourth quarter got a little dicey. I mean, we gave up 42 points, which I understand might be a record for Indiana to score 42 points in a quarter. But I like to explain it like this. Like when you're down on your home court, you start getting desperate, right? I mean, you just pull out all stops. And, you have somebody like Grace Berger who doesn't hit 3-point shots, go 2 for 5 from 3-pointers, just throw some up and they go in. Sometimes you get desperate in those situations and it just goes backwards. I mean, it doesn't work at all. This time it worked pretty well for them. And we missed some free throws down the stretch as well, but had a big enough lead that we could withstand that.
That's a good point that you make, because when a team does get down and you've just got to try to find the right combination, shoot shots you probably wouldn't, maybe press more than you would like to. And it does kind of get helter-skelter at times.
It really does. And you're playing on their home court, their crowd's trying to get behind. I was really proud of our effort, our team's focus during these situations. They didn't let it get to them. We understood we had a good lead, and, every team's going to have momentum. Every team's going to have waves of momentum. And that was their little wave right then. We just had to withstand it. And, we did. In the end, we did. And so, 5-point victory on the road. I don't care how it looks in that fourth quarter. The final result's what counts.
Coach, this team's been so good on the road, and especially in Big Ten play. In your career, can you kind of get a sense with teams that, hey, this is a team that doesn't mind playing away from home? It's a team that's together. And this seems to be that type of group that kind of relishes these tough atmospheres.
It's strange. I don't remember, having a season, and I'm not, memorizing our record books or anything like that, but that we've had so much success on the road. I mean, for us, we have just played very well on the road. In fact, we're shooting better on the road than we do at home. Before yesterday, our 3-point percentage on the road was 38 and at home was 32. And I think that is magnified after yesterday's game. So for some reason, we're playing very well on the road. And I have to imagine it's because of our culture, because of the chemistry of the team. I think that's the only reason. I mean, you got to be, a decent team to win on the road, but those other factors, because there's a lot of good teams that go on the road and don't win. So I do believe that part of it is our culture and the chemistry of the young women on our team.
And you have players that obviously love to play the game, love the great atmospheres that we have. Caitlin Clark, of course, Monica, McKenna. If the crowd gets on them, as long as they're into the game, it seems like they're in a good mood and they'll play in front of anybody.
Yeah, I don't think that bothers Caitlin. In fact, I think she kind of likes it a little bit. And the rest of them too. I mean, they rally around, like when we go on the road, you have to stay together. You have to really, huddle up at every opportunity and stay positive no matter what. And really proud of this group for doing just that.
Well, Coach, big picture, we were talking before the game yesterday. Hey, a lot can still happen. We've got 2 regular season games. Last night was a huge game. And there's 5 teams mathematically that could win this regular season Big Ten conference race. And then, boy, is that tournament going to be something. And everything gets better with each victory, doesn't it?
It's amazing. I mean, right now, you are right. 1 game separates all 5 teams from winning this Big Ten championship. It's still a possibility for us. I mean, we're 12-4 in the Big Ten right now. And if we have a sweep, we could end up 14-4. And, probably, I'm looking at Ohio State, they play Penn State and Michigan State. They'd be 14-4 too. So we would tie with them. But I mean, there's so many ifs, right? I mean, we got to go and win at Rutgers. Maryland plays Indiana. So one of them has got to lose. And so that's going to give one of them 5 losses. And so as long as we can stay away from that 5 loss, we'll be okay. We don't want to tie with Maryland because they win the tiebreaker, but obviously we win the tiebreaker with Indiana. So, again, you just got to go 1 game at a time, and we got to go get Rutgers on Thursday night. That's the most important thing, is just the W.
Yeah, it really is. It magnifies everything this time of year, but it kind of goes to show you too that it's a long season, and there's going to be ups and downs and highs and lows, and fighting through adversity as you have done. And then here, right at the end, you put yourself in position, and that says something too, that you stay the course and just keep plowing through.
We've weathered a lot this year. I mean, when you look at the pandemic and us closing down having a stoppage of our program back in November, and really having a hard time finding our legs after that. And then coming back from Christmas and kind of going through it again. We have another couple players that are affected by COVID, and we have a lot of cancellations, and all those cancellations just really compressed our schedule. And so this back half has been pretty strenuous for our players, as far as, I mean, not a lot of prep time, not a lot of time for us to get better, just kind of playing the games. And with a young team, you're kind of worried about that, right? And but thankfully, Caitlin had a lot of experience as a starting point guard last year. She's only a sophomore, but playing very well in that leadership role for us. And really, with Monica announcing her comeback, not a senior really in a starting lineup right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, how good a news has that been, along with everything else so positive that has happened the last couple of games. And then you also look too with this basketball team, the inside-outside combination continues. And I thought on Monday night in that third quarter, getting Monica a couple of touches early really set the tone to outscore Indiana 21-14 in the third quarter last night.
Absolutely. We talked about at Indiana the game before, that McKenna was 6 for 8, or Monica was 9 for 13. That's like 64% from the field. Let's get her a few more touches. And we did last night. We got her 17 opportunities to shoot the ball. She makes 13 of those opportunities, and also has 10 rebounds, has a double-double. So ties a career high of 31 points, and also has 10 rebounds. So I love it when Monica's getting that double-double. So that was great that we were able to get the ball to Monica, because I think that's going to be a key in the Rutgers game as well.
Yeah, Iowa outscored the Hoosiers at Carver Hawkeye Arena 21-14 in the third, and then 26-16 in the fourth. And you go back to some of those three-point play opportunities with Monica. Boy, did the crowd get into it. Just a huge force in that fourth quarter.
We had 7,500 people in Carver last night and on Monday night, and I'm serious, it was so loud. It was one of the loudest I've heard in a long, long time when we made that comeback, and Monica makes that three-point play the old-fashioned way, and it fouls one of their players out. I mean, that place erupted, and it just gives you so much energy when you have that kind of fan support behind you. But, this wasn't looking good. We were down 11 going into halftime, and they came out and actually got their biggest lead with a 12-point lead. I'm sorry, that was actually in the second quarter, but came out in the third quarter, and we did play a much, much better job defensively, especially on Grace Berger. Grace Berger was doing a good job in the first half. She has 15 points going into halftime. She ends up only getting 7 more points the whole second half. And a lot of that I give to Kate Martin, because Kate Martin was guarding her in the first half, got into foul trouble. We had to sit her down a little bit. Grace Berger got hot, and then the second half, Kate's back out on her and does a good job on a really good player in Grace Berger.
Yeah, really tough guard, as good as I've seen, with the dribble pull-up from mid-range. And then she takes 2 charges as well, does Kate.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, people look at, oh man, Kate Martin didn't score any points. Why is she out there? She has 6 assists in this game. She is just doing such a good job for us defensively. And the thing is, yes, she didn't have any points, but she only took 3 shots. It's not like she took a ton of shots, so she didn't waste those opportunities. She didn't take bad shots. So very, very proud of her effort out there last night.
No doubt about it. We'll certainly break down the Iowa-Indiana game and look forward to Rutgers, but we've got a lot on tap with this show today. And when we come back after the break, Jan Jensen, her comments on the outstanding post-play for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and then also back-to-back victories against the Indiana Hoosiers. This is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder, presented by Oakdal and it will continue on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a two-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Get your ice cold Bud Light seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbine Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few 2-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you, because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
This is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder, presented by Oak Knoll. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, has been voted the best of the area for the 9th consecutive year. Proudly supports Iowa women's basketball. Visit Dodge Street Tire for all of your automotive needs, including the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating 29 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets. Hawk Talk, also brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light proudly welcomes back Hawkeye fans to Carver Hawkeye Arena this year. Bud Light is for the fans. And the fans were into it on Monday night against Indiana. Over 7,000 really spurred the Hawkeyes on to victory, especially in that fourth quarter. Iowa Post players had much to do with both wins over Indiana as well. Monday, Monica Sonato recorded her 3rd career double-double, 2nd this season with 31 points and 10 rebounds, tying her career high in points. Addie O'Grady off the bench with 8 points, 2 big block shots in just over 8 minutes of action. Associate head coach Jan Jensen works with the Posts and was pleased with the way both played, and certainly much more. Her comments after the victory over the Hoosiers.
Well, Jan, you look at how hard it is to, when you look at this schedule, when it was all changed, you had Indiana, then a top 5 team back-to-back. And to try to go win both of those games, that's quite a task.
It
and
really
to be
is.
able to get it done, boy, is impressive.
Yeah, surely it is, because when we were looking, when that game got canceled because of COVID, and then there was just random challenges, we can debate all of it. I'm sure Indiana has their take. We have our take. We had a date much earlier to do it. They didn't want it. Big Ten kind of lets you try to figure it out. And then it became to this situation. And so it is what it is. And we both have had disadvantages earlier in the year with COVIDs and rearranging. So to do that, to go on the road and get that big one, and then to come back and really face a team that was obviously feisty and wanted to show that was a fluke. Great credit to our players, our staff. I think Lisa did a great job of really managing it. And then we had to manage rest too, because you're flying back and you give your heart and soul to it. So Jenny Serter, give her a shout out. Lindsay Dinkelman, everybody's working in concert. So it felt really good to get that one. And, credit in Indiana. They came out in that fourth quarter there for our fans. That was a desperate team in the fourth quarter. So they were just putting their heads down and going. They were pressing. Where there in the fourth quarter, we were trying to slow it down, and that's not really our style, right? So we felt like they certainly were going to come out and press more. They didn't till the end. We knew they were going to put their head down and drive. And they just beat us down the floor. They were just taking this at us. We got in a little foul trouble. And then they got us really rushed. We had some errant passes there was no reason for. Took some really quick shots. We're always going to give Caitlin a couple, but then if it's not going, then they really they can be hurtful, because if she takes a long one and it bounces, or it's a quick one, and then before you know it, it's a really quick turnaround. But we settled. I thought Caitlin did a tremendous job. No turnovers in the second half. She managed it. She orchestrated. And then McKenna Warnock, solid. Just kick butt, tough as nails. Kate's our glue. Gabby does everything defensively that you can possibly ask for. And let's just take a moment to just say Monica Sinatra.
That was my next question.
Buckets.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
13 for 17.
Huge finishes
down
the stretch, though.
Double, against a really good defensive team. And she got fouled. She drew 6 fouls, and both of the posts fouled out on her. So that's, really just a tremendous game. And earlier in Monica's career, she had a little trouble sometimes with Holmes. Granted, Holmes is a great post. She's coming off that injury. But I couldn't be more proud of all of our kids. But certainly Monica shined tonight.
And how about Addie O'Grady off the bench?
Bucket. How about those posts? That one coming
I was going to say,
bench.
how about that?
That is 3 for 3. Big, exciting plays, too. And sometimes, Caitlin's takes a little while to get, used to her, because, she's kind of like dribbling around, and then that ball comes at you. And she handled 2 beautiful screen and rolls, or I guess maybe one was just a transition bucket. But, yeah, Addie is growing up quite nicely, and I'm elated. And I'm going to keep getting her a little more aggressive. But I thought her ability to alter, just the presence of her size kind of gives us a different look. And, boy, she was big time tonight.
And not afraid to score.
Not afraid. No, she came to the right place, right? She does. She's a bucket. She looks for it. She hunts for it, and we're thrilled with her progress.
And we talk about offense, obviously, but Indiana scores 14 in the third, 16 in the fourth. High-powered offense can score a lot of different ways. Kate Martin takes 2 charges. You mentioned Gabby Marshall and McKenna. The toughness at that end of the floor and the rebounding, I thought really stood out.
Yeah, I tell you, the rebounding, we out-rebounded them again tonight by 10. It was the first half where we told them, like Lisa was, pretty calm, stern but calm. She's like, we turned the ball over ridiculously. They had, I believe, 23 points off of our turnovers and 13 more shots than we did at the half. So we were only down 11. Only. But thankfully you're at home. But once we settled, we didn't have a lot of the unnecessary ones, because so many in that first half. But when we kind of calmed and settled, and our offense was solid tonight, and the nice thing or not so nice thing, we didn't have unbelievable offensive percentages tonight, but we still beat a top 10 team. And that credits our defense. I think our defense has improved, and obviously we did talk about the fourth quarter there. I mean, the last time we gave up all those points. So it was a lot better tonight to see that they scored 16 in the fourth tonight versus the 40-some they did the other night. So I really couldn't be prouder of them. And now, of course, we are going to let them enjoy it. We're going to give them the scout tonight. We're going to take tomorrow off in the sense of, man, that Rutgers game becomes pretty big now, right? And everybody is going to be like, oh, at least they got Rutgers. Everybody's going to be talking about Michigan, probably in the Hawkeye fan base and probably in the Big Ten. Can't wait for the Michigan rematch.
Well, for that to mean anything, you got to take care of business on Thursday.
And defensively, look what we did tonight with some intense pressure on defense. We were rattled. Now we're going to be on the road. They're going to be playing.
And they've won a couple games.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we really got to attack that defense. We got to play loose. We got to play fun. But we don't want to go there and not be as focused as we should be. And I would be shocked if we do that. I mean, tonight we told them at halftime what was at stake, and they very well know. We get a little help, down the stretch with some other teams knocking off in Indiana. But we're going to, this was a hard-fought game, so I think it'll be wise to rest and use more cerebral planning tomorrow. And then Wednesday we practice, fly out. Thursday, the tough thing is when you fly to a Rutgers, we literally get home at 2 a.m., right? So then you hopefully. Amen. That's the truth. If you jinx that, you were going to sit on the wing on the way home if that's jinxed.
I will. I promise.
All right.
That's a good spot for me.
I also, just before we get, if you have more questions, but thank you to our crowd. I mean, how great was this crowd?
Did they get into it or what?
On a Monday night. Are you kidding me? I mean, you guys, all
season.
Of you, all season long, for sure. All season long, through thick and thin, for the times we've come up short, you guys have stuck with us, and it does not go unnoticed. We talk about it in the locker room afterwards. Lisa mentioned that, and our players, they are so proud to be Hawks and so proud to lead the Big Ten in attendance. That's what we're doing, and we just appreciate you. Tune in, cheer for us on Thursday, and we'll do everything we can to bring that win back, and let's just rock it next Sunday. But first things first, thanks for tonight. Best fans in the country, and let's go beat Rutgers.
And Jan, this is what it's all about, right?
It really is.
Coming down the stretch, playing meaningful basketball games.
And that's the thing, if you really want to peak and hit that, that pinnacle at the right time. And I think we did that last year. I'm hopeful we're going to do that again this year. And it's just nice to have a healthy team. McKenna just makes all the difference, having her back. So if we can just keep making those little improvements game in each practice. And I thought the first three quarters at Indy, we looked like that. The fourth quarter, obviously wasn't so sure. Tonight we wavered, but then to see us that second half really start to trust each other, it's fun when that happens.
Associate head coach Jan Jensen on the postgame show after Monday's victory against Indiana. Hawkeye fans, not much more opportunity to catch Hawk Talk with Coach Lisa Bluder for her weekly radio show presented by Oaknall at Bumps Restaurant from 6 until 7. Just one more time. We'll do it next Tuesday on March the 1st from 6 until 7. You come on out and join us at Bumps at Finkbine Golf Course. And we'll be right back with more Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder after the break on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Bachmeyer Carpet One Floor and Home, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, and Klosterman Construction, building custom homes for 20 years. Klosterman Construction is a premier custom home builder doing everything from remodels to exclusive custom homes. Klosterman takes the stress out of your building project. Award-winning designs, quality craftsmanship, and superior customer service. Call 319-545-7088.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbine Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
It's always more fun to be with friends as you cheer on your favorite team. Whether attending the game, watching at a bar, or hosting a party, it's very important to know that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Before choosing to drink, choose your team's MVP, a sober designated driver. Avoid the unsportsmanlike conduct of driving drunk by handing off your keys so that you, your passengers, and everyone on the road can be safe. Your team victory will only be worth celebrating if you and your friends make it home. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few two-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Oh, you know that old injury of yours? The one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Athletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk, presented by Oak Knoll. Monica Sonano and Caitlin Clark combined for 60 points and 18 rebounds in Monday's 88-82 win over Indiana. Gary Dolphin talked to the two Hawkeye stars on the Fight for Iowa podcast.
Monica, let me start with you. You are the senior leader. The Hawkeyes have gone through recent injuries, postponements, rescheduling games due to the virus. The team has traded wins or losses the last week, wins and losses the last week. So I want to know what the mindset of Iowa women's basketball is right now, Monica.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just been overcoming adversity. We've had a lot thrown at us through the course of the season, whether it's injuries, like you said, cancellations, rescheduling. And I think it's just coming out strong and fighting, kind of overcoming all that's happened to us. You can't predict this type of stuff at the beginning of the season at all. And I'm proud of the way the team has fought and come through. And I think just with the continuation of the season, keeping the mentality of just fighting till the very end and giving it all we got.
Caitlin Clark is averaging 29 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. She's almost at a triple-double on average. Caitlin, you're the first Division I player, male or female, to post back-to-back 30-point triple-doubles. That's just unimaginable. What excites you more, a transition three or a no-look, dazzling straight-line assist?
Oh, man, honestly, that's a hard pick. I think really anything in transition gets me pretty excited. I think that's our team's best offense by far. That's where we really thrive in our transition offense. But you know, a no-look pass to Monica for a cool bucket is pretty nice, but the transition through and that's going down, that's pretty nice too. So that's a hard pick, but I honestly would probably like the pass a little more, but that's a hard decision. I mean, I think maybe just a back-to-back no-look pass, then the transition three. That's what I'm going to go with. You ought to run for political office off that answer. That's pretty good. Monica, you know where the bottom of the basket is too, Monica Sonano. 67% from the floor last season. That was the best in college basketball. You know, what impresses me when I watch you play is you put yourself in such great position, working on leverage, great hands and catching at times difficult passes. To an inside player, that means so much in positioning and being able to just turn and whirl to the basket, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of everything. It sets every post player up for an easy shot, especially. That's what allows the high percentage, is making sure I kind of have an easy road to it. But I'm honestly blessed because our guards do a great job of being able to feed me in places where they know I'll be most successful. And I think that's huge, and that's something that Coach Jay has been working on with me on for so long, kind of working ahead of the pass, trying to figure out where the guards are going to go next and how I can be most successful with it. But yeah, it's been kind of something all posts have really focused on at Iowa, especially Megan, and it's just been kind of awesome to see it progress and how it's helped me throughout the years.
Caitlin, we all have heroes growing up. Is there a player or players that you love to imitate or at least watch play when you were in your formative years?
Yeah, I think growing up, I watched a lot of players. I've loved basketball since a very young age. So, and not really only basketball. I loved a lot of sports, and I played a lot of sports growing up. But growing up, I really liked Maya Moore. She played for the Minnesota Lynx. She doesn't play anymore, but played at UConn for a while. Sue Bird. I actually went to a Minnesota Lynx Seattle Storm game, so I got the best of both worlds. My dad took me, and that's a very fond memory I have in my head of basketball. And I got to meet Maya Moore after the game. So I would definitely go those two. But I honestly grew up watching a lot of basketball, whether it was Dowling High School basketball or watching college basketball on TV or watching NBA on TV. I just loved the game from a very young age. And I still do, no matter what. I always have basketball on, men's or women's. And I just love being a fan of the game as well.
Monica, you're a finalist for the Lisa Leslie Award. Speaking of great players, it goes to the nation's top center. Megan Gustafson won this trophy a couple of years back. What's it mean to be considered one of the best in the country at your position?
Yeah, it's super awesome and kind of super cool to see all the hard work pay off in that aspect. But I think one of the even cooler things is looking at that list and having played against a good amount of people in the Big Ten on that list. It's just really fun and exciting that I get to go out and do that regularly, play against some of the best there is. And that just speaks to what the Big Ten Conference is and what Iowa schedules for us. And I think it's just so great, especially seeing all that success in the Big Ten. But yeah, it's an honor. And I'm really, really proud of not only myself, but kind of the whole team, because that's a group effort. That's not just one person who makes one person successful. So yeah, it's an honor.
The Fight for Iowa podcast will be available tomorrow. Here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn is a multi-purpose crop which benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our families, and provides clean-burning fuel for our planet. As always, thank you to Iowa's corn farmers. We will have more Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder, presented by Oaknall, when we come back on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Flu season is here, and you can get your flu shot now at your Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and you can schedule your appointment online. Just go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. This year, it's more important than ever to stay healthy. So go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy today to schedule your flu shot and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions may apply.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbine Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
It's always more fun to be with friends as you cheer on your favorite team. Whether attending the game, watching at a bar, or hosting a party, it's very important to know that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Before choosing to drink, choose your team's MVP, a sober designated driver. Avoid the unsportsmanlike conduct of driving drunk by handing off your keys so that you, your passengers, and everyone on the road can be safe. Your team victory will only be worth celebrating if you and your friends make it home. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
Multi-platinum country superstar Sarah Evans is bringing her Copy That tour to the newly remodeled event center at Riverside Casino and Golf Resort on May 21st.
could not ask for more. You were born to fly. There's no place that far.
Tickets are on sale now at riversidecasinoandresort.com.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home broken-hearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition for those who are Iowan through and through. We're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach Lisa Bluder as we are presented by Oaknall. Don't forget, we'll be back at Bumps next Tuesday, March the 1st from 6 until 7 to preview the Big Ten tournament and also wrap up the regular season. Fun time of year. Well, Megan Kahn is the new vice president for women's basketball for the Big Ten Conference and works very closely with Commissioner Kevin Warren to ensure the health and growth of Big Ten women's basketball, which we have certainly seen the last couple of years. Kahn comes to the Big Ten with extensive experience as a collegiate conference administrator, working at the Atlantic 10 Conference and also the ACC. I had a chance to talk to her about her first several months on the job.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me. I actually grew up in Iowa, so I was a Hawkeye at heart, although I have to wear the neutral hat now in my current role with as VP of women's basketball for the Big Ten. You know, it's been a crazy. I've been on the job about 40 plus days now, and it's been a crazy start with all of COVID and rescheduling and the pauses, and we've had weather cancellations and everything else that we've been juggling. But it's a wild ride, and I knew it was going to be that way, and so it's buckle up and let's go. But you know, really, when Commissioner Warren created this position, it was the bigger picture of his vision for amplifying women's basketball and women's sports in general. You know, there's so much momentum right now with the 50th anniversary of Title IX approaching, everything that we saw coming out of last year's NCAA tournament in San Antonio, and the effort on the national level and to really control the things that we can control within the game itself. And so his vision, and he talks about making Big Ten women's basketball world class, and he's sincere in that, and he's committed to walking the talk. And so it's just a great opportunity to work under great leadership. You know, our coaches, our student athletes, our teams themselves are performing. They're doing their job on the court, and now it's my job. I get to come in and build and grow and sell the brand and see where we can take it.
Well, you mentioned the regular season and your time just getting going, and then all the weather issues, COVID still hanging around, and trying to get as many of these games in as possible has really been difficult, I'm sure, for the conference.
It has been a monumental feat. Unfortunately, it has taken up a lot of my time, so I wasn't able to execute my original 30, 60, 90-day plan. When I was hired, Omicron was not hanging around. So we thought the first 30, 60, 90 days were going to look much different than they did. But you know what? I'm rolling with the punches and was learning on the fly, and allowed me to step out of the gates and create relationships right away with being on the phone with our sport administrators, our SWAs, our head coaches, trying to get in as many games as we can. And I understand it's not easy on the coaches and teams. We're having to put opportunities in front of them that they're not used to saying yes to. They're not used to saying yes to 3 games in 5 games or 4 in 8 days, 4 games in 8 days, you know, just to try to get games on the calendar. And unfortunately, we won't get them all in either. We're, you know, less than 2 weeks now from the end of the season. And there's a couple still hanging out there that we won't be able to get rescheduled.
Megan, about the regular season, the strength of the league, still everything up for grabs here in the last couple of weeks of the regular season.
And you said it best. There's a lot still up for grabs. Your mind would blow if you saw the email swirling around within my staff this morning, going through clinch scenarios, because there's just too much basketball still to be played with what's on the schedules for Iowa, for Maryland, for Michigan. In Indiana, there's way too much basketball to be played. We can't even predict what's going to happen between now and our last play date of the 27th, here approaching quicker than any of us can probably hardly imagine at this point. But it's exciting. I mean, what's going to happen in Indianapolis? We're excited to welcome fans back to Gainbridge Fieldhouse now for the first time since last year was a different type of a tournament with COVID impacting everything and how tournaments were run. So we're excited about that. We're excited about a great tournament. There's going to be amazing basketball played in Indy. And then as we look at the NCAA tournament, we're talking, anywhere from 6 to 8 teams right now. We got Purdue kind of hanging on the bubble. We got Michigan State, Northwestern, Nebraska on the bubble. It looks like we probably have locks for our top 5, which would include Iowa. That's great. And truly, I think Iowa has a chance to play upon what this last stretch looks like to sneak into that next top 16 reveal. So the NCAA does a top 16 reveal one more time on February 28th, which is the start of our tournament week. And I just saw it on ESPN this morning. I think a lot of people have eyes on the Hawkeyes to see what they're going to do down the stretch.
Megan, you talk about the growth of the game too, not only within the conference, but nationally. And you look at some of the stars within the Big Ten Conference, it really seems to be heading in the right direction. And let's start with Caitlin Clark. What she is doing is absolutely impressive this year. I mean, how she's putting up those numbers with defenses keying on her night in and night out, 5 triple doubles, which is the most in conference history. But we run deep, look at Naz Hillman, who just went over 2,000 points at Michigan. We have Nia Clouden from Michigan State. And we have what I like to call the 3-headed monster over at the Hoosiers with Pat Bergberger and Holmes, hopefully getting off the injured reserve list here very soon. Ohio State's loaded with Mike Soll and J.C. Sheldon. And we got Veronica Burton at Northwestern. You got McKenna and Marissa at Penn State. The talent in this league is unbelievable. And that's one of the things that attracted me. If it'd be different if our teams, our coaches, our student athletes weren't putting out good products on the floor, I'd have a really tough job. But the fact that they're performing the way they do, and I see that way for a long way to come, was one of the things that attracted me to this position. Well, Megan, great to have you in the conference, and certainly appreciate you taking the time, and hope to meet you in person one of these days as well. Yeah, Rob, look forward to seeing you in Indy.
And thanks to Big Ten Vice President of Women's Basketball, Megan Kahn. Blue is caring, blue is convenient, and now blue is Medicare Advantage from Wellmark Advantage Health Plan, offering all-in-one Medicare coverage, our extensive network, and the confidence of being covered by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more at wellmarkadvantage.com. Great specials the rest of the week at Bumps. Of course, tonight, 2 burgers for $12, all bottles of wine half off. And then on Thursdays, which has been very popular, $5 monster tacos and $3 classic or strawberry margaritas. We'll be back with more Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder, presented by Oaknall. It continues on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, Bachmeyer Carpet One, Floor and Home, Klosterman Construction, and the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel, named Iowa Tourism's 2021 Hotel of the Year and awarded the AAA 4-Diamond Award for lodging. To make reservations, visit thehotelatkirkwood.com or call 877-751-5111 for more information.
Flu season is here, and you can get your flu shot now at your Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and you can schedule your appointment online. Just go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. This year, it's more important than ever to stay healthy. So go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy today to schedule your flu shot and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions may apply.
Check out Bumps Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbein Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bumps Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the hotel at Kirkwood Center, Klosterman Construction, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, and Bachmeyer Carpet One, Floor and Home of the beautiful Guarantee. Bachmeyer Carpet One is proud to support the Hawkeyes. If you're looking to remodel, build a new home, or just redo a room, we are your flooring store. Outstanding design and sales staff with the knowledge to guide you in a friendly, stress-free atmosphere. Bachmeyer Carpet One. Come visit us.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Well, one more long trip. And head to Rutgers tonight and play tomorrow night. That's a 7 o'clock Central start, 8 o'clock out on the East Coast, 6:45 for the pregame show. And kind of strange, here we are in the last week of the season, and first time we've faced Rutgers.
Yeah, we played Michigan State the first game back in November. Haven't seen them since. And now here we are in the last week playing Rutgers. So haven't seen Rutgers yet this year. And honestly, they have gotten better as the season has gone on. Of their last 3 games, they've won 2 of the last 3. Those are their only 2 wins in Big Ten play, but they happen to come here at the end of the season. They won at Minnesota. They beat Penn State. So they're a team that's getting better and a team that's really, really hard to scout because they have 8 transfers. I've never heard of this before. Every one of their starters came out of the transfer portal. Their top 3 players off the bench came out of the transfer portal. So this is a very veteran team. It's going to be their senior day, and 4 of their starters are seniors, and they have 8 seniors total. So it's going to be a prolonged senior day. They're doing it before the game, which I never really like when people do it before the game because it kind of disrupts your warm up and your flow. And I don't care for that a whole lot. But at the same time, it's their home court, so they get to do what they want to do. But the good news is, I guess, for us is that we don't know the personnel, but we know the system. We know what they're going to bring to the table, and nothing has really changed year to year from Rutgers on what they're going to bring defensively. But the faces have changed.
Do they have a couple of predominant scorers, or is it a bit across the board this year?
Well, their big scorers are Ashlyn Brown, who's the power forward position, who can really rebound well, and she's more of a true power forward, like back to the basket instead of like a hybrid 4 like McKenna is. They also have a small forward that transferred from Bradley University, who really did a great job at Bradley. And she is also at 11 points a game and shooting very well, 44% from 3-point range. But they just play a lot of kids. This is not a team like Indiana where only they go 7 deep. This is a team that's playing 8, 9 players, and so really spreading out those points.
And, of course, the Hawks have been so good on the road. And this is a little bit different atmosphere. The rack now at Jersey Mike's Arena, where it's more of an old school field house type atmosphere versus the brand new arenas that you tend to play in.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is we didn't go there last year. They canceled our game with them last year because of COVID. We never traveled there. So our freshmen and sophomores, this will be their first visit. We played them at home last year and then played them at the Big Ten tournament. So we swept them. We went 2-0 against them last year. But again, whole new team, never have played on their court for most of these players on our team.
And, Coach, of course, we want to make sure everybody comes out Sunday against Michigan, the Hawks, senior day, and a huge game, trying to get a little payback from the Wolverines after Caitlin Clark just about did it by herself in Ann Arbor in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what I understand, we've already sold 12,000 tickets, so it's going to be close to a sellout if we can keep going. So go get some tickets and come to this game because this is your last time possibly to see Caitlin Clark, Monica Sonano this year on our home court. And the last time we played Michigan, we didn't have 2 starters. We didn't have McKenna Warnock. We didn't have Gabby Marshall. It's going to be a great game. I think Michigan is the best team in the Big Ten right now, but we get them on our home court. and really excited about this 3 o'clock start. And it's going to be a fabulous crowd. And after the game, we will be saying goodbye to our senior managers and also to 2 seniors, Tommy Taiwo and Logan Cook. We'll be recognizing those 2 afterwards.
And of course, we'll be back at Bumps next Tuesday. That'll be March the 1st, and it'll be our final Hawk Talk show. And we've had great crowds. Wish we could be there this week because I know it'd be standing room only after the last 2 games. But we'll be able to talk about the Big Ten tournament, wrap up the regular season, and nothing better than March basketball, is there?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that conference tournament because we'll know a whole lot more, after this weekend. Obviously, we're hoping for that double bye, so our first game would be Friday. In order for that to happen, we have to at least get a split this week. And if we, it'd be nice, I guess, if Maryland would beat Indiana as well, because that pushes them down a spot. I haven't went through all the scenarios, but I just know take care of business. Let's go beat Rutgers Thursday night.
Yeah, that's the W's improve everything, Coach, as we found out this week. And obviously, this is what we talked about as well. This is so much fun to come down the stretch here and playing big-time basketball games. It's why you get into it, right?
Well, it is. And we're quite honestly one of the only teams, or one of the few teams, I think us and Ohio State are the only teams that have played all 18 Big Ten games. You're looking at Maryland, Michigan, who have only played 17, Indiana, who's going to play only 16. And so I think it helps us because I believe a 14-4 record is a lot better than a 13-4 record, which could come down to being, Big Ten champs because we just played more games. Again, we got to take care of business and win one at a time, but their possibilities are there.
Well, Coach, as always, thanks so much for your time, and certainly always enjoy our conversations. And we'll see you on the pregame show tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. And let's go Hawk.
Head coach Lisa Bluder here on Hawk Talk, presented by Oaknall. So don't forget, it's a 7 o'clock Central tip. Iowa and Rutgers tomorrow night. Will be on the air at 6:45, and then invite everybody to come out. And it sounds like there's not a whole lot of tickets left for Iowa and Michigan. That's Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. And then our final Hawk Talk next Tuesday, March the 1st. So thanks, everybody, for listening this week. And we'll talk to you tomorrow night from Piscataway, New Jersey. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder from Learfield.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this has been Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Governor's Traffic and Safety Bureau by the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. By University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. And by Authentic Brand. Look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. Get your game day gear online at authentic-brand.com. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network. on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular, today's game brought to you by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. And by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. Now, here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Throw another log on the fire and cuddle up to your radio. Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery is underway. Good evening from the Hyatt Regency's Edgewater Grill and Bar in the Iowa River Landing. I'm Gary Dolphin with longtime analyst and Hawkeye star Bobby Hansen. For the next 90 minutes, we'll recap an amazing week that saw Iowa put together back-to-back victories over top 25 opponents. In what has grown into the Hawkeyes' most impressive stretch, really, of basketball this season, at least in my view. And yes, there was the 7-game win streak to start the year, and then 6 wins in a 7-game stretch that started with the Utah State battle up in the Pentagon in Sioux Falls. That was on December 18th. That was certainly notable. But 5 wins out of the last 6 games, including a pair of rousing performances on the road, has been remarkable. Last night's 86-60 whipping of 24th-ranked Michigan State on the heels of a 13-point conquest of Ohio State out in Columbus has vaulted the Hawkeyes into a 6th-place tie in the Big Ten and into the top 25 standings. Iowa now 9-7 in the conference, 19-8 overall, and playing with a lot of confidence heading to Nebraska for a Friday night rematch with the Cornhuskers. Bobby, we love what we're seeing right now.
Oh, I love this team. Yeah, I love the way they're playing, Gary. The second half of the Ohio State game at Columbus, I thought was really impressive, and they won that game going away, outscoring Ohio State 36-24. They played defense and rebounding in that basketball game. 40-31 on the boards, whipping Ohio State on that Saturday afternoon game. No question in that game the Hawkeyes were the better team. And then they built on that, Gary, coming home here versus Michigan State. They were telling us they're a wounded team. You know, this is a desperate Michigan State team, but Iowa would have nothing to do with that as they shot lights out and really took control of that game in the first half.
Keegan Murray put up 28 points, converting 10 of 15 shots last night, and made 6 of 7 free throws. And it was good to see the Hawkeyes drain 16 of 18 on the evening. It was Keegan's performance was an NCAA leading 12th game where he's eclipsed 25 or more points, and that includes 4 games of 30 or more points. What's been equally impressive, though, in February has been Iowa's defensive performance and rebounding, Bobby, to your point. But first off, Keegan Murray knows that the tanks and the guns are coming at him from every team. He's going to get their best shot defensively, and still he puts on these marvelous performances.
Unguardable last night. Michigan State had no answer for Keegan Murray, and he just took it right to him, Gary. And then brother Chris, the twin brother, the lefty, he came in and was bombs away in the second half, and his confidence just grew and grew and grew, and you're seeing that kid just grow up right in front of your eyes. But contribution from everybody. You know, yeah, Keegan's the star, but the key to this team is the versatility and the ability of everybody to contribute to the victory, and whether it's a rebound, a loose ball, Joe Toussaint getting in there with energy and hustling, knocking down a shot or two, Aaron Eulis, everybody. Tony Perkins in that starting role, he brings toughness. So Hawks up 30 points. At one point, I'm looking at my sheet here, 82-52 at the 3-minute mark, and it was just a fun night last night. We'll get in depth with everything that went on at halftime and before the game coming up, but the Hawks are on a roll. They're playing tough, and Filip Rebraca, I thought he brought the toughness at the beginning of the game, not to be pushed around. And we talked about a desperate team there in Michigan State. Filip would have none of it.
How about 7 rebounds to go with his 4 points, Rebraca, and you know, he's getting an elbow in the mouth almost every time he turns around because he's outsized by 4 or 5 inches. And I want to go back to the rebounding. You mentioned that 44 rebounds last night, 10 offensive. Now that's back-to-back games against top 25 opponents. The Hawks have out-rebounded Ohio State and Michigan State, putting up 40 boards. That is so hard to do, especially against Michigan State, who really has set the standard on the glass for a long, long time. That's Tom Izzo-style basketball.
Yeah, it's rugged basketball, no doubt about it. Physical game, but you just got to give it right back to him, Gary. And you can't back down from him. That was number one key to the game. You got to be the tougher team, and then you got to win the battle of the board. So, yeah, it was outstanding. Fun night. Everybody I talked to today at work, everybody I saw, whether at lunch or in the hallways or whatever, they just want to talk about Iowa hoops and how much fun that game was.
If you're going to make any calls on behalf of the Better Business Bureau, today was a good day to do it.
Come on in. Yeah, we got a little business done, but seemed like everybody wanted to talk about the Hawks.
Hawks are taking care of their business, too. They shot 44%, 43% from 3, nailing 12 of 28 attempts from distance. We've talked about that ad nauseum, about if you make threes, a generous number of threes, you're going to win the basketball game. And if you're north of 10 threes, like they were last night or last week at Ohio State, you got a great chance.
12 last night, and you had, at Ohio State.
Not as many,
but they shot a high percentage. The Hawkeyes did, but it's a dangerous team. The Hawkeyes are from three-point land. You have a lot of guys that can make them. I mean, Jordan Bohannon, obviously. Chris last night. Patrick McCaffery, very capable of making threes. Connor McCaffery, the dagger at Ohio State, stepped right into a three. Like I told somebody, he looked like Manu Ginobili, the Hall of Famer, stepped into that with the left-handed, and see you later. Pulled the fire alarm, and they were out of the arena there at Value City.
Yeah, Manute's going into the Hall of Fame. I noticed in the latest class as well he should. Connor, he's whacked, as Fran likes to call it, whacked threes in the last 2 games. How big were those at Ohio State on Saturday? Of course, last night followed up. Left with that bad wing of his, that shoulder injury or upper bicep injury. We'll get the update from Fran here shortly. And then, Bobby, I mentioned in the opening, 18 of 20 from the free throw line. I mean, that is Iowa basketball, getting there and making them.
That'll win you a lot of games right there, Gary. And the fact you're getting there and then knock them down, you know, the old mantra is always to make more than the other team attempts, and the Hawkeyes are right on schedule on the year to do that.
I asked Jordan Bohannon on the postgame show last night, what's changed defensively? He said, we're guarding with our feet, not our hands. We're not putting our hands on folks, not as much anyway, but we're moving our feet much better. And, boy, nothing gets you in position better defensively than moving your feet.
Coming from the defensive specialist, Jordan Bohannon, right? No, he's moving his feet. He is. Definitely better. His hips are feeling good, he told me. So he feels healthy for the first time in a while.
The Hawkeyes move out to 9-7, Bobby, in the Big Ten. That's critical because they now own the tiebreaker over Michigan State. Likewise at 9-7. Michigan is 8-7 and playing right now at home, hosting Rutgers. The Wolverines on the U.S. Bank scoreboard are up 4-3 early on. 3 points, 38-35 early on in the second half. Michigan playing its first game without Juwan Howard. But they have the crafty old wily veteran, another guy from Philly, Phil Martelli, who's guiding the team. So they've got a very good former head coach, currently the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. But you look at the standings, Bob. You got Purdue at 13-4, Illinois and Wisconsin at 12-4. The Badgers tip off at Minnesota tonight in the nightcap around 8 o'clock. Ohio State at 10-5. Rutgers, who Michigan is playing, is 10-6. And then the Hawks and Michigan State at 9-7. Michigan is 8-7. So you've got a lot of dominoes yet to fall, a lot of shuffling and jostling going on here over the final week and a half of the regular season. But it's going to be fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even really look at the standings or try to study them because there's too many teams, too many games to be played. Things happen, and you just got to concentrate on what you can control, and that is the Hawkeyes, your team, and your performance.
Fran McCaffery has arrived. We'll hear from Fran after we take our first time out here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We're here until 8:30 tonight. You're welcome to stop by if you're in the neighborhood and can get here, because I will tell you, you can't top the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. And we're in the Edgewater Grill and Bar, where you can enjoy extended happy hour until 8:30 tonight. Come and enjoy the Hyatt's brand new menu featuring items like New Orleans bucatini, buffalo cauliflower, and baked caramel apples. The bar is now offering whiskey flights with over 40 varieties of whiskey to choose from each time you come to the show. You choose a different one. They've got 4 half shots that you can purchase for a very reasonable price and sit here and enjoy the camaraderie with your friends and fellow Hawkeye fans. 40 varieties of whiskey. There are that many, trust me. And plus, you'll be entered into the hotel's drawing to win a range of prizes, including a free room night giveaway each week. All entries here at the Hyatt Regency will be pooled together for a grand prize drawing at the end of the season. And the end of the regular season is coming up here quicker than you think, in just a couple weeks. So come on out to the Hyatt Regency and enjoy a great social night of activity and enjoy Hawk Talk. We're down to our last few shows of Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery, but Matt and the crew are here waiting to service you, and they've done a great job with us and our patrons all season long, whether it's a Monday night show or a Wednesday night show. This happens to be Wednesday night because of the Hawkeye women's game on Monday. By the way, the Hawks won over Indiana, and Lisa Bluder and her Chargers are now headed to Rutgers tonight for a big game tomorrow night with Rutgers before they conclude the regular season hosting number 1 Michigan. Michigan's at the top of the standings for the Big Ten women's basketball crew, and they'll be in town here coming up this weekend. But that's then. This is now. Iowa at Nebraska Friday night. We'll get Fran's thoughts on the Huskers as he also chimes in with his recap of what happened at Columbus on Saturday and over at Carver Hawkeye Arena last night. And here we are 10 minutes into the program. We haven't even mentioned the retiring of the numbers, the jerseys unfurled, most notably Luca Garza, who was in the crowd last night. Luca had a great day, a great couple days in Iowa City. He of the Detroit Pistons. The Hawks also honored the great Murray Weir. Also Chuck Darling, one of the most vicious rebounders that Iowa's ever had back from the early 1950s. And, of course, it was great to see Dev Marble and the Marble family there honoring Roy Marble, as his jersey now hangs forever in the rafters at Carver Hawkeye Arena. So that's all ahead. We'll get Coach's comments on that. There are a number of ways you can reach us or reach Coach with your question or comment. Through social media. First off, on Twitter, the address, the handle is @GaryDolphin or Iowa_Learfield or hashtag HawkTalk. @GaryDolphin or @Iowa_Learfield or hashtag HawkTalk. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks or Hawkeye Sports Properties, HSP. Learfield. So there's no excuse. Dial in with your questions or comments. We'll pass them along to Coach over the next hour and 15 minutes or so. Hawkeye Basketball and Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery is brought to you by our friends at Iowa Corn. We know corn grows Iowa. Iowa grows a lot of corn come the spring and summer season, but in reality, really, corn grows Iowa. Corn grows our livestock, our economy, and our athletes. Put on your best face for the Iowa Corn Cam and follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to be corn-fed. We're at the Hyatt Regency, and this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a 2-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by your local John Deere dealer for a test drive today or learn more at Deere.com. Your Iowa John Deere dealers, proud sponsors of Hawkeye basketball. Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly transformed Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center. Located in the heart of the Iowa River Landing. Walking distance to Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeyes volleyball team. As well as some great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency is the new home of Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery this fall. Come find your place at Hyatt Regency, where we care for people so they can be their best.
We're back at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, the Iowa River Landing. Beautiful property, beautiful facility. Thanks to Matt and everybody here at the Hyatt. We got a nice crowd tonight. We actually have the Iowa Limestone Producers Association having their annual conference here. And hi to Randy Olson, who's the executive director, Jan Hall, who puts on their convention. Most of them are Hawk fans. They're out of Urbandale. Bobby, you should know about the Iowa Limestone Producers Association. Several of them here enjoying the program with us tonight. So the Iowa Limestone Producers Association, the Hawkeyes, Coach McCaffery, we're solid as a rock defensively. You'd like that segue?
Pretty good, yeah.
Bobby and I were talking about before you arrived the defense and the rebounding, and we know the Hawks with your system and as sound as they are fundamentally, they're going to score a lot of points every night out. But you've got to be so proud of defense and rebounding, the way they've attacked here in the last few weeks, really all season long. It's steadily improved,
especially against Ohio State and Michigan State. You can't beat them if you don't out-rebound them. It's virtually impossible. So you got to get to the glass. You got to get some seconds back, and then you got to make sure they don't get a whole lot of seconds and kick out threes. But the other thing it does is it enables us to run the break. We had great success running the fast break in both games. And that's the critical thing. You get stops, you limit them to 1, you run the break. You get them back on defense. You get them scrambled a little bit. You get into the bonus. We were in the bonus pretty early yesterday in the second half in particular. So that was absolutely critical. But you're right. It really all starts with rebounding.
Coach, their guards have been shooting at a high percentage of late. Max Christie, 5-star kid out of pure freshman in his first year, he was 2 for 11 last night. Tyson Walker, who hung 26 on the Illini, 3 for 7. Now, he did hit 3 threes, but none that really pestered you or put you into a tight spot. And then Gabe Brown, who's been a high flyer and a scorer from, was 0 for 7. What were the components on the perimeter defensively that really pleased you?
Well, our closeouts were good. The 2 shots that Christie hit, we pretty much contested. He's supposed to be a first-round pick as a freshman. The NBA is going strictly young. And they see tremendous upside with him. He's a very good player. I recruited him. Great family, great person.
6'6".
He's really talented.
Chicago kid, yeah.
But we were really in his space and contesting. And the first one he hit, Patrick slid his feet and really contested well, and he made a tough shot. So you're wondering, okay, is this guy going to be off and run and have a big night? And he didn't. We stayed after him pretty good. Gabe Brown was a little bit of a surprise because he's been, I don't know, what was the Rutgers game? He hit 6 threes. He's been really shooting the ball well. But again, Patrick's length, I think, really bothered him as well. Patrick or Chris or Tony. Tony got after those guys on the perimeter. We really were working there. It's one of the good things, too, about playing a lot of guys. We got fresh bodies out there. So, when they're running, because they run, too. They run on makes and misses. So both teams are running, so both teams are flying around. You get tired guys, and all of a sudden those closeouts are a little bit late, and they're making those jumpers. We were closing out into their space, contesting everything, and then going. And that's what you want to do, and that's what we did.
Coach, I go back to the beginning of the second half there when you took an early timeout. You don't you do that often, but you really reset the team right at that point. Talk about what you saw and what you told.
We had a couple tough possessions, I thought, Bobby. Just nothing good was happening. Defensively, we were a little bit scrambled, and I just said, it went from lead went from 14 to 10, and I didn't want it to go from 14 to 4. So, it was our ball, so we were able to, get organized offensively and get that thing, from 10 to 20, which is what we wanted.
Coach, the rebound numbers were spectacular again last night, as they were at Ohio State. But I've been so impressed with the offensive rebounds. You had 14 second chance points last night. You had that many or more at Ohio State, and on the road it's even more impressive. But a lot of that is positioning. But the offensive boards, even if they just keep the possession alive and run another 20 seconds off the shot clock, you know how valuable that is.
Well, I think the best example of that was late in the Ohio State game. E.J. Liddell hits a 3 to cut it to 6. We run the clock down, we miss, we get a rebound. We run the clock down, we miss, we get a rebound. Connor hits a 3, so we go up 9, and I think we took well over a minute off the clock. So now you look up there, and instead of being 2:20, now there's 1-something. You're pretty much one stop away from a victory. We got to stop. They had to foul. They fouled Aaron Eulis. He makes both. We go up 11, and the game's pretty much over. So. Those second chance opportunities, they manifest themselves in a lot of different ways. Yes, you typically score on a high percentage, but the value over the long period of time of keeping that team on defense is immeasurable.
And, Coach, you go back to that point. Liddell, as you mentioned, hit that 3 to pull you within 6. And then Connor steps up. Talk about, he came out of the game last night, I guess. Give us an update on his arm and then his newfound confidence in his jumper.
Yeah, it's been funny because he's been shooting it really well all year in practice. And of course, it was on fire against Penn State. It's the big one against Ohio State. Goes 2 for 2 last night. So I'm not surprised. He did not shoot it well last year from 3. But 2 years ago, and you say this and people think you're crazy, in 20 Big Ten games, he shot better than Joe Wieskamp from three-point range. Now, last year, nobody shot better than Joe Wieskamp from three-point range anywhere. It seemed like every shot he took, he made. He would think he was right up around 50%, which is one of the reasons why he's playing for the Spurs. So we're thrilled for him. But, he was a really good shooter 2 years ago, not last year. And then this year, is doing really well, playing, his important role. He plays different positions. And last night, the offense worked really well with him. He was screening for people. Getting people open. I thought the one play when Peyton Sandfort made a great back cut, they thought they were going to chase him up the hill. He cuts back door. Connor hits him, and he missed it. But it was that's the motion offense right there, and those two guys together are really good. And you put Tony or Aaron, Joe Toussaint out there with any of the Murrays or Phillip. We're gonna run the offense the right way. We're gonna go in and out, side to side. If you do that, if you get the defense moving, then you have a good chance to score or get fouled. And that's really what you want to come down. You want to get a good shot. You want to have an opportunity to drive the ball, get to the free throw line. And then if you don't get the rebound, get your defense back. And that's what it's all about.
And, Coach, expand a little bit on Peyton's game in his freshman year. He's really starting to play his best basketball of the year, I think.
He's a really good player, Bobby. I mean, he does a really good job on the offensive glass. He's had a couple of big tip in last night. Remember the tip in he had against Nebraska about a week and a half ago. I mean, he's always around the ball. He moves well without the ball. When he gets the ball out of his hands quickly, if it hits his hands, either he puts it up or he moves it or he feeds the post, hits a cutter. Really active defensively. He's got great size. And you're right. I mean, a lot of times when you're talking about a freshman, it comes down to confidence. And for him, he's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Well, speaking of confidence, Keegan, talk about efficiency. 10 of 15 from the field, Coach. He hit 2 threes, 6 of 7 from the foul line, 28 points, 5 rebounds. And Bobby and I were talking about this before you got up here. He knows he's going to get the opposing defense's best shot every night out, whether it's man up or double team, sometimes 3 bodies flashing at him. And yet he keeps delivering these kinds of numbers. I think it just speaks volumes for how good he is.
Yeah, he's a hard guy to double team because, he moves around. He's all over the place. He makes threes. He makes turnaround jumpers on the baseline. He rips and drives. He's a tough guy not to foul. You can press up on him. You can double him, but you're going to foul him at some point. He finishes through contact. And he moves the ball. He's a guy, like you said, I mean, he gets 28, but he only took 15 shots. As far as I'm concerned, he could take 30 shots if he wants to, but he's not going to do that. He moves the ball, and he moves without the ball, and he values winning above everything else.
Fran, is this what you saw when you recruited him?
Well, he always played that way.
Yeah.
And so did his brother. And then all of a sudden, they kept growing, and they grew into their bodies. And now you're looking at essentially guys that could play in the NBA, and they always had feel. They could always dribble, pass, and shoot. I always said they always dribble, pass, and shoot, both of them, and take good shots. You don't see either of them forcing the issue at all. And when you're 6'8" and you can handle the ball, it's really impactful to your offense. So if either of them rebound the basketball, they just go, and everybody goes with them. And the opposing team has been told, okay, watch these, especially Keegan right now. All right, so you're trying to pick them up in transition, you're trying to wall them off. Well, now 3 other guys are open, and he moves it, he shares it, and that's how you win.
Coach Jordan Bohannon on our postgame coverage last night, I asked him what's changed, if anything, defensively. What's been the key? And he gave a simple answer. He said, we're moving our feet collectively much better versus guarding with our hands. Take us inside that comment.
Yeah, I mean, most teams run similar stuff these days. It's ball screen continuity. It's run up ball screen, surprise ball screen. So you got to get down and stay down. You got opportunities, very few opportunities, I should say, to play one-on-one, because somebody's going to set a screen, all right? And you're either going to get screened in a ball screen situation, or you're going to be dealing with a screen in a down screen situation, or maybe it's a low away screen. So you might have to deal with a screen, but then you got to get down and stay there, and you got to be in the gaps. Mm-hmm. If everybody stays down in their stance and they don't go for shot fakes and they slide their feet, well, now they're going to have to make tough two, and that's essentially what you want. That's what he's talking about. You want to make tough twos. You don't want layups and open threes. And so the last thing you want to do also is, while you're sliding your feet and you're defending a guy who's shooting a 2-point shot, you don't want to foul him. Make a tough 2-point shot over your extended hands. If you do that, you got a good chance to win.
And Coach, the 1-2-2, I made a note I didn't get to ask you last night post-game, but it continues to pay dividends. And not a lot of steals, but you're taking a lot of time. I mean,
last night, Bobby, we were really close to about 4 10-second violations. They brought it over at 21. So we got to do a little better job of jamming that guy for that last second. The problem is if you do that and they throw over your head, now you might give up an open three. So the guys are, they're being smart. They're not giving up anything easy. Like, we're not pressing to give up open threes and open layups. That's not why we're doing it. So there's a fine line between how aggressive you can be or how aggressive you want to be, and then how effective you can be. I always say, when I worked for John McLeod, one of the best coaches I've ever known, he wouldn't extend his defense because he says you're just opening up the floor and you're giving good players more opportunity and more space. Certainly in the pros, you don't see it, because those guys just pick it apart. Well, this is the highest level of college basketball, so you got to be careful, how you do that, and how much space you give a really quick. And how much you really want to press Fats Russell, and let's give him more room to blow by you. Well, maybe we can corral him and make him give it up and get to that next pass and then get your defense back, get matched up. And now there's 17 seconds on the shot clock. So now if they run in ball screen continuity, there's less time to go side to side. You're only dealing with, so now Jordan Bohannon or Joe Toussaint, they're only fighting one ball screen instead of four. And that makes it easier to defend, and it also takes away foul situations potentially, because we don't want to foul. You talked about it earlier. We don't want to foul. We don't want them in the bonus. You come down the stretch, you're in a 1-point game. You don't want them in the bonus. No.
Take it out on the side.
Four free throw attempts for Michigan State. I mean, it's one thing to limit anybody to 4, but Michigan State, they live off getting to the foul line. That speaks volumes again for your defense.
We remember the last play at the end of the half, Dolph. We had a 14-point lead. They had the last shot of the half, and we had only committed 5 fouls. So we had a foul to give. So we alert our guys you have a foul to give. But Peyton slipped. Remember, he slipped?
Yeah, he did.
And fell, and the guy fell on top. It was a foul on Peyton. Take the ball out of bounds on the side, like Bobby said. Instead of, all right, well, now he goes to the free throw line, and now it's 12 instead of 14.
Yeah, that's big.
Those are big plays. We shot more free throws than they did last night.
Little plays add up to those big plays.
Yes, they do.
We'll take a break, guys, and we'll come back in a minute. And when we do, we're going to talk about Luca Garza's return to Carver Hawkeye Arena, play some of his press conference from yesterday, get Fran's thoughts on not only Luca, who was in the stands last night and, of course, could feel the love, but also Murray Weir and Chuck Darling and the great Roy Marble, who were honored last night and forevermore with their jerseys now unfurled in the rafters at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Hawk Talk here at the Hyatt Regency in the Edgewater Grill and Bar with Coach McCaffery is sponsored by Bud Light. And Bud Light is so glad Hawk fans are back inside Carver Hawkeye Arena this season. Bud Light is for the fans. And to look and feel my best, I reach for my Authentic brand gear. The style and comfort of Authentic brand by TCB Companies delivers that boost of confidence to be my best. Outfit your life with Authentic brand gear by TCB Companies, and don't just do it in Authentic brand. That's authentic-brand.com. Check out their website. Pick out some Hawkeye gear for you, for the wife, and for the kids. Authentic brand. We've got guests of Authentic brand here tonight. We'll talk about them a little bit later on in the program. Authentic brand, a great Iowa company out of Perry, and headed up by our friend Clark Fessler. All right, we're coming back to the Edgewater Grill and Bar in just a minute. This is Hawkeye basketball from Learfield.
What are you craving? The Wig and Pin in Ankeny, across from DMAC, is proud to offer dine-in and carry-out. Home of the famous Flying Tomato Pizza and Chicago-style deep dish, The Wig has all of your favorites, including thin crust pizza, appetizers, lots of sandwiches like the Turkey Club and Reuben, soups and salads you'll love, and a full bar. Call to order or just come on in for lunch and dinner. The Wig and Pin in Ankeny. What are you craving?
Ladies, Gary Dolphin here. Authentic Brand's stylish line of products are designed by ladies for ladies. You will love the unique Hawkeye options available for your next tailgate. These same Authentic Brand styles are available to outfit your professional life as well. With Authentic Brand by TCB Companies, you'll look your best at the game, work, or anywhere in between. Outfit your life today at authentic-brand.com. Authentic Brand by TCB Companies.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first,
Get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
It's a new season. Get ready for more men's and women's college sports excellence. Trophies will be awarded in June to schools who take the top spot in the 2021-22 Learfield Directors Cup. The premier award recognizes one winning institution in all competitive divisions. Follow your favorite team's progress as seasonal standings are announced at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at directorscup.org. The crowning achievement in college athletics.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
It's always more fun to be with friends as you cheer on your favorite team. Whether attending the game, watching at a bar, or hosting a party, it's very important to know that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Before choosing to drink, choose your team's MVP, a sober designated driver. Avoid the unsportsmanlike conduct of driving drunk by handing off your keys so that you, your passengers, and everyone on the road can be safe. Your team victory will only be worth celebrating if you and your friends make it home. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
We're talking Hawkeye basketball tonight from the Hyatt Regency and the Edgewater Grill and Bar. Gary Dauphin with Bobby Hansen and the head basketball coach of the Hawks. The Iowa Hawkeyes, Fran McCaffery. Iowa now 19-8, 9-7 of the Big Ten, headed to Nebraska. Now that'll be an 8 o'clock tip on Friday. Our pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network with Bobby Hansen starts at 7 o'clock. Join us for the Hawks at Nebraska Friday night at Pinnacle Bank Arena as Iowa tries to keep it going, having won 5 of its last 6 games. Before we get to talk about Freddie Hoiberg and the Huskers, though, what a spectacular night it was at Carver last night. First off, thank you to you fans who braved that weather yesterday, the icy conditions, and made it to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Had a little over 14,000 people there last evening, and a lot of you showed up and purchased tickets at the window, understanding that there were seats available. So it was a night for the ages. I mean, the Hawkeyes retired the great number 55, the jersey at halftime. Luca Garza, the 2-time National Player of the Year. The athletic department also honored with the unfurling of the jerseys and the rafters at Carver, the great Roy Marble, Murray Weir, who in the late 1940s became Iowa's first consensus All-America, led the nation in scoring. The great coach later at Waterloo East High School, and Chuck Darling, one of the most active, vicious rebounders in the history of the Big Ten and the University of Iowa. And Chuck could score, too, at 6'10" with those broad shoulders. But certainly the star of the show was number 55, double nickels, Luca Garza, who spoke to the media prior to the tip-off last night. And he was so thrilled and very emotional about that number hanging now high above the floor at Carver forevermore.
Obviously means a lot to me and my family. You know, my dad wore that number. It's the reason I chose that number. And, you know, I put everything I had into that jersey for 4 years. So to see that go up in the rafters is something I'm never going to forget.
Luka, last year you didn't get to share the season with the fans, and tonight you get that full experience of the fans in the stands. What's that going to mean to you to share that moment? It's going to be unbelievable. You know, I definitely – it's such an amazing feeling when you play in front of those fans, and to not have that for a year is, you know, something that's going to, you know, sting for a while. But, you know, for me, to be able to see that tonight is going to mean the world to me. And I had so many great experiences, so many sellout crowds we played in front of, so many big wins, and, you know, all of that support for me my entire career is it's amazing. So I'm so excited to see that tonight.
Is there any game last year, a moment you wish you could have had with fans here, as you think back?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. you think about that Iowa State game and moments like that, and think about senior day and that, the jersey being retired, all of that, wishing fans could have been there, even, breaking a scoring record. There's so many. I feel like there was so many great moments for us. We beat UNC, which was, when I was growing up, that was a dream school for me. And so beating UNC was a crazy moment. I think, there's so many big games we won but I have so many great memories of having fans there, like, for instance, like the Illinois game when we won at home is some, that I will never forget in front of that crowd and what that felt like. And, so I've had my fair share of great memories in Carver, and there were still great memories even without the fans. But, of course, we would have loved them to be there.
Did it feel different coming back here yesterday and being in practice?
Yeah, no, it definitely, I came back in the fall as well. And, it definitely feels different when you're, like, watching practice and, seeing Coach, yelling at other guys and not you. So it's different. It's different, but it's awesome. And I'm now a fan now. I watch all the games and I'm, keeping up to date with all these guys and making sure they're doing good. And it's incredible to be back, and, I miss it. So it's a lot of fun to see it.
That moment when you walk off the court, when you find out, Fran talks to you a bit, and you kind of break down. What was that like for you? What was one through that?
It was already, an emotional enough day, being senior day. The whole day, going through, shoot around and pregame meal and everything. I was emotional the whole day. I was just thinking about, it being the last time I'm playing here. And, you do it so many times and every time it feels amazing. You never feel like it's going to be, the last one. And so that was already an emotional enough day, just being, a senior here. And, when you told me that, it just, I had no idea that was going to happen. It was totally unexpected. And, I hadn't, ever really thought of it, my jersey being retired, maybe in the future or something like that. But, when I found out it was actually going to happen, it was, incredible. And, it was a surreal feeling, and I can't even really describe it. And for, Coach to be the one to tell me was, something else that's, crazy. He recruited me when, a lot of other coaches turned me down and passed on me and stuff like that. And he saw something in me. I'm forever in debt to him and his family.
How would you define your 4 years here?
I don't even know. I'd say it was incredible. I loved every single second of it. I came here, I wanted to help Coach McCaffery, win. I wanted to be a guy who brought this team to the tournament and went very far. And after my freshman year, it was a tough year on me mentally. I'd never been on a losing team, and we were 14-19, and I still think about a lot. And so going into that summer was was a big summer for me in terms of leadership and stepping up and different things like that. And everything I've been through. I mean, the cyst and then my junior year, and then COVID, and then coming back. It's incredible, and you can't even script it. And it just I'm so thankful, and I'm really lucky to have been recruited by Coach McCaffery and given the opportunity to come to this place, because if he hadn't recruited me, I don't know if I had ever been in Iowa ever, and so I came here and I fell in love with it, and it's home. It's home for me.
When people, especially Iowa fans, say Luca Garza, what do you want them to think of?
Someone that took an opportunity that was given to him, worked as hard as they could to maximize it. I think that's the biggest thing. I'm not the most athletic guy. I wasn't, very highly recruited. I was the number 100 player in my class, and when they ranked me, they spelled my name wrong. And I was able to turn that into being, the best player in the country and helping my team win at a very high level. And be, a 2-seed in the NCAA tournament. So with anything, I want to be known as a guy who worked harder than anybody else.
Now we finally find out what motivated him. They spelled his name wrong.
What was he, Luke Garza?
No, I'm guessing they got the Garza wrong, but
I don't know.
Or Luca. I mean, that's not a common name.
I knew how to spell it.
Yeah, good job.
Look at that.
So how did they spell it? What was the
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to ask him.
Don't know. I don't care. I'm glad he's an Iowan now. He said if Fran hadn't recruited me, I may never have been in Iowa. Well, we're glad you and he both found your way to Carver Hawkeye Arena. But he mentioned what Coach McCaffery saw in me. What did you see in him when he was really being lightly recruited?
Well, you know what's great about it is, you know, it's a great example of what recruiting is.
Good point.
Okay, so
yeah,
on the Nike EYBL circuit, Nike has the top circuit on the AAU of all the AAU programs, and Iowa does not have a Nike team on the Nike circuit, but they were given a provisional opportunity. And this is when Connor was a sophomore. So Austin Fife, you know, from Northern Iowa, Devontae Lane, who played at West with Connor, and they put a group together. Lefty Moore coached them, did a great job coaching them, and they were played in provisional tournaments with the opportunity to earn a trip to Peach Jam, which is
down in Atlanta,
the creme de la creme of AAU basketball. Adidas' circuit is good too. That's the one Patrick played on, called that the Gauntlet. So those are the two best, you know. So they go down there and they keep winning. They keep beating all these other teams that have shoe contracts. And one of them was Team Takeover, which is arguably one of the top 3 or 4 AAU programs in the country. It's basically the best players out of the Washington, D.C. area. So Connor's playing, Devontae's playing, Austin Fife is playing. I go down as a dad, watch them play. And they're playing against Luka. And ironically, he had been injured. This was his first game back. So they're playing, and I'm like, this guy, like, he's really something. You know, he's hitting step-back threes. You know, he's 6'10". He's 15 years old. So, I said to myself, I came back and I told my staff, Sherman, Kirk, and everybody, I said, we got to recruit this kid. So then they went to, Connor got invited to Nike Elite 100, which is supposedly the top 100 freshmen and sophomores in the country. Luka was there, so was Frank. So I met Frank and watched Luka again, and we began the process. We invited him out. And ironically, I think I've told you this before, but they came out on an unofficial visit, which means that the family pays for it. So Frank came out with Luka. It was the weekend where we played a Friday night game. I forget who we played, but it was a Friday night game. We had a sellout because on Saturday we had the wrestling match at Kinnick. And it was 42,000 people went to that.
Oklahoma State.
And then that night we had 70,000 for a football game.
For Minnesota.
So they went to all 3 games.
Great weather.
And the weather was great because we didn't know what the weather was going to do for the wrestling match. You know, we were wondering if we could actually. They were ready to move it inside if it was bad, but it was great. And Frank thought that was awesome that there was 43,000 people came to watch the wrestling, and incredibly high level, and then everything was a sellout. And Luka already knew. Luka and Connor were already buddies. I mean, they're like best friends. They lived together, along with Austin Ash and Michael Bear, and they had a great camaraderie there. So, it was that early connection, not only with Luka, but with Frank, and then with Luka and Connor in particular. And it was interesting because, he said Coach saw something in me a lot of other people didn't see. For whatever reason, it took a while. Eventually, everybody says, well, he wasn't very heavily recruited. He was very heavily recruited. It just was later in the process. We were early in the process. Mm-hmm. So by the end of the summer before his senior year, he had Notre Dame, Indiana, Alabama, Georgetown, Virginia. He had them all. And, but I'd been went to every one of his games, and would see him, would stay in touch with him, and we went and watched him during his school year at the Murray School. He was coached in high school by Chuck Drizel, Lefty Drizel's son, who I knew and Sherm knew. I mean, Sherm was on staff with Lefty.
At Maryland, yeah.
So we had that connection. So, but it was a family decision, and Frank was just, I think, felt comfortable putting him in a place where he knew we wanted him. Like, this young guy is going to be special. It wasn't like I went to see him and he didn't play well, and then I went back, he was okay, and then, you know, we didn't get somebody else, so then we started recruiting him.
Sure.
You know, that's recruiting. But no, he was a priority. As soon as I knew that kid was going to start the first minute he showed up on campus, and he did. And he had a tremendous freshman year. We didn't win, but he was great. We won 14 games. It wasn't like we, were 5-25, but we lost some close games. We didn't play well at times. We didn't have a lot of depth, but we grew. And he and Tyler Cook developed a chemistry. Bohannon was with that group. Nicholas Bear, Kriener. I mean, we had a core. And we knew we were going to be good the following year, which we were. And that's when he really took another step. I mean, hit the biggest three of the game, I think, against Cincinnati in the NCAA tournament. The second part of his sophomore year, he became a dominant player in our league. And then he took another step and became a much more complete player. He was a scorer and a rebounder, always was. But he became a passer because he started getting double-teamed, and he had to figure it out, what teams were trying to do to him. And he had an answer for whatever they did. Double him, triple him, double him on the catch, double him on the spin, double him on the bounce, whatever. And you couldn't wear him down. Like, we played Michigan State last year. You guys were over there.
Yeah.
You know, every time he ran the floor, they would bang him at the 10-second line. They would bang him above the three-point line. They would bang him at the three-point line. They would bang him at the free-throw line. And then they would front him. And the whole time Izzo's screaming, he's pushing off, you know, because they had no answer for him. They had no answer for him. And the thing is, that would wear a lot of people down.
Yeah.
It just strengthened his resolve. I'll bang you 5 times, and I'll nail you, and then I'll turn and score on you. And then he might run his mouth. He might say 30. Something about it.
Hawks beat Michigan State by 30 over there, wasn't it?
He is one tough dude now. He is one tough dude.
Oh, man.
You know, I'll say 2 things about Luka. We met him his senior year in high school. Frank and he were at practice. Gary and I walked over or whatever. We're walking. He's the same kid today as he was 5 years ago. And
think about what I said, you know, when I did my video thing. It's like, National Player of the Year. I mean, rewrote the record book. He's a better person than he is a player.
Yeah. No,
and I mean that sincerely. A leader, character, through and through, a great teammate, a great friend, huge heart, you know, an incredibly humble person.
Very modest.
Off the court.
Yeah.
But would absolutely stab you in the jugular while the game's going on.
Cut your heart out.
Well, that was the second part of my question, was down in Vegas. We're playing Final Four team, Texas Tech, with Chris Beard. He takes one in the mouth and wouldn't take the Novocaine. Just give me the stitches. I need to get back in there.
That was one of the most, I would, like, the NBA guys would call, and they would say, you know, it was always, well, we like him, you know, does this game translate? And I would say, okay, at what point does production matter?
Yeah.
All right, so whoever lined up in front of him for 2 years got their ass kicked. I mean, bottom line. And, all right, that should count for something. I said, what, you talk about toughness? I said, how about this? He gets busted in the mouth, and, you know, the reason I know all this is because one of my best friends, Doug Henstrom, is a facial plastic surgeon. He used to work, I knew him when his son and my son Connor were best friends, his son Hershey. Well, he moved out to Salt Lake City, but his family came over for that tournament to see us. So he runs into the back, and so I got, you know, the kid's face is busted up. Right, I got to fix his face. So
people looked away when he.
So it's not like off balance, and he's like, "Let's go, hurry up." He goes, "Well, dude, we got to numb you up before we, because it's a very sensitive pot in your body." He said, "No, just go ahead and sew it up." He said, "I got to get back out there." So they sewed it up with no Novocaine. He runs out, and because if he didn't, the game would have been over. He runs out, He literally runs. I said, get in there. He goes in. I run a play for him. He scores and put us up 5.
I know. I saw Frank afterward. We were waiting on an Uber. And it's like, you made a lot of money tonight, Frank. You're like, you think so? I said, yes.
One of the most impressive performances of many that I saw with Luka was a game the Hawks lost, a tough game at Michigan. Might have been maybe his sophomore year. He hung like 46,
44.
Something on a Michigan team that had a lot of size inside, and he was going.
Who was that big guy?
Teskey.
It was Teskey. John Teskey.
Basically, what happened that night, Dolph, they made a decision. They were going to play one-on-one.
Man on man.
And I thought he was going to get 50. You can't play him man-to-man. You can't.
Not at all.
It just doesn't work that way.
Not solo coverage, that's for sure. But he put many memories in the Hawkeye basketball book. The most decorated player in the history of Iowa basketball, Luca Garza.
Which is saying a lot.
See Murray Weir, see Don Nelson, see Freddie Brown and John Johnson, on and on and on. And he is so deserving, and not only because of the player he is, but to your point, the person that he is. So it was great to see Luka last night, along with the other families who were representing the Marbles and the Darlings and the Weirs. Got to take a break here, but it's great hearing from Luka. Great having him back in Iowa City. Our program tonight, Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from the Hyatt Regency and the Edgewater Grill and Bar, is brought to you by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield and the Wellmark three-point play. For every successful Hawkeye three-pointer that Wellmark contributes to, it benefits area health projects. Through the program, the Hawkeyes have raised more than $170,000 courtesy of Wellmark. Now the team needs your help in selecting this season's winning community. All you need to do is nominate your hometown at wellmark3pointplay.com, wellmark3pointplay.com, or by texting IOWA, Iowa, to 97063. Wellmark, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield. We're sponsored by U.S. Cellular. That's America's locally grown wireless with a nationwide network built from your town up. We're proud to be the official wireless provider of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, when we come back, we'll take a look at the U.S. Bank scoreboard. Rutgers and Michigan have just gone final. Wisconsin at Minnesota is coming up yet this evening. We'll also talk to Coach about what lies straight ahead. That is a straight line out I-80 to Lincoln, Nebraska for the Nebraska Cornhuskers coming up Friday night. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home broken-hearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition for those who are Iowan through and through. We're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
When you build Build a network locally engineered for the home team. You know how important a strong connection is on game day, so you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery, Iowa coach Fran McCaffery, Bobby Hansen, yours truly, Gary Dolphin. We're here for a few more weeks, a couple more weeks program through the regular season and the week of the Big Ten tournament as we talk Hawkeye basketball. Talking a lot of basketball now with a U.S. Bank scoreboard update. At U.S. Bank, we know when you invest in a community, the community invests in you. U.S. Bank is committed to providing high-quality, innovative products and services that meet the needs and demands of our customers. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Michigan has just gone final and defeated Rutgers, that game at the Chrysler Center up in Ann Arbor. And the winner is Rutgers. Let's get the score right here. Michigan 71, Rutgers 62. The Wolverines led for pretty much the entire game. Phil Martelli, coach, is subbing in for Juwan Howard for the rest of the regular season. Of course, Coach Howard suspended for 5 games after his run-in with Greg Gard in the handshake line in Madison on Sunday. The fines have been levied. The suspensions have been handed out. We've had this conversation before about the handshake line. I know Tom Izzo has been very vocal this week about how it absolutely should remain. And you've commented on it before. It's an emotional time, whether you win or lose. You're fired up if you win. You're upset when you lose. How did you assess what you saw on Sunday?
Well, those things happen. It was an intense game. A lot of stuff happened in that game. A lot of it by the players. And then, of course, the coaches. Reality is nobody wanted to shake hands at that point. You're asking for trouble. About every 10 days there's one of those. There's an incident somewhere.
We have it in high school.
The Oral Roberts, North Dakota State fight during the handshake line was way worse than that. That one was just on CBS. So you're asking for trouble. It makes no sense. If Juwan took his team to the locker room and Greg took his team to the locker room, we wouldn't be having this conversation. No fines, no haymakers, no penalties, no suspensions. It's just not the right time. If you want to go shake hands, sportsmanship is an ongoing thing. It's not a thing that takes place for 2 minutes after the game. That's not sports. Sportsmanship is how you conduct yourself all the time. And there were some things that happened in that game, by the players that are going to create some angst. Somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to push somebody. And let's have a hard-fought game where you've been there. The stuff that fans say to our guys,
oh yeah,
and to us, it's reprehensible. But it's part of the deal. Like, I'm not complaining about it. We're used to it. But there's a lot of emotion. Let's put everybody that who's you want intense rivalries, you want physicality, you want intense games, and then the game comes down to the wire, and then things happen in the course of the game, and now we're just supposed to go hug it up. It's just illogical. It's not how it works. It's not real life. It's fake, and it's foolish, and you're asking for trouble. What if one of those haymakers connected and there was permanent damage? This conversation would be even different.
Yeah.
And that would be a shame. Because Juwan's a good dude. Okay, I know him. His body of work in this profession speaks for itself. But people get emotional, and the intensity of this profession and the public nature of it all, and now you factor in social media and the vicious attacks that come in the direction of our players. I don't care. I get paid. Say what you want about me, but our guys, they get attacked like you can't believe, and it's not right. But it's part of the territory. It's, you know, it's like, well, you know, it is what it is. You know, pick a cliche. You know, that's just the world we live in. You know, there's what we always say, right? That's the world those kids live in. So there's a lot of pressure on them.
You would do away with the handshake limit
immediately. I was really hoping that COVID would do it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think the NBA does what they do? For that reason.
Yeah.
See you down the road.
See you next week.
See you down the road. Or turn around and walk to the locker room. I don't want to see you down the road. I don't want to say goodbye. I don't want to shake your hand. I don't want to.
I don't want to give you a hug.
I don't like you right now.
What happens if
That's
that thing?
reality.
It is.
What happens if that thing? I'm watching it live, and I'm like, Mary, get in here. Look at this madness. If the students come out there, and now you've got it all out, how are you going to control that? Tear gas? No, you can't.
Now, I mean, think about this, okay? Every time I go on the road, I have a police officer assigned to me. Think about that. As soon as I walk in the building, he comes right up to me. He escorts me to the locker room. They take us to the court. He sits right there, protecting our bench, not just me, protecting our bench. That's where we are. We need police protection. Okay, sometimes we brought our own police protection. We go some places. We bring our own guy. All right? That's the world we live in.
Yeah, it's sad. It's a basketball game.
But that's...
And you also have two teams now fighting for seeding, fighting to get into the tournament.
Yeah.
It's intense.
And you know that you have unwritten rules, right? And you violate the unwritten rules. And
I could say there's about 8 things that happened in that game, starting with the elbow to the Dickinson's stomach, trying to get over a pick. That's not how you get over a pick.
That's a topic. We don't have enough time in this show to talk about that particular topic. That should have been taken care of a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been. But you think about a couple years ago when Illinois got upset with us.
Yeah.
They're pressing. We go long, and Wieskamp dunks the ball. Now they want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, we'll walk it up and we'll hold the ball. But if you're going to press, we're going to score. I don't know about the timeout. I don't know about that. I don't think I would have called a timeout. That's me. I don't think I would have called a timeout. But you know, coach your team. I got enough trouble coaching my own team. Greg Garr can coach his team.
When that happened, it was like,
but you knew something was going to.
Yeah.
You weren't going to come across, and wasn't going to be something was going to be said.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Good point. Well,
that's crazy.
Great explanation.
Crazy 2 days just to follow it a little bit.
There's an extended U.S. Bank scoreboard update. Through one score, we got Wisconsin at Minnesota just starting. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification before we take another break. 10-second ID here on the Hawkeye Radio Network for our wonderful stations to step in and identify themselves. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Couple more finals before we take a timeout here. Duke and Virginia are playing in a big rematch this evening. Duke held on to beat the Cavaliers 65-61 in Charlottesville. Late in games, 20th ranked Texas is up 5 on Texas Christian. It's Xavier 66, Providence 63 with 2.5 minutes to go there. Providence ranked 11th. Number 3 Auburn is up 12 on Ole Miss midway through the first half. Later LSU at Kentucky and the aforementioned Wisconsin Badgers at 21-5 up in Minneapolis taking on the Gophers who are 13-12. That's our U.S. Bank scoreboard update. And we'll get to Twitter and Facebook and talk some Nebraska basketball when we come back to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a 2-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
When you set up a savings goal with US Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the US Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. US Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hey, Hawk fans, Gary Dolphin here. For that extra edge that comes from looking and feeling my best, I reach for my Authentic Brand gear. The style and comfort of Authentic Brand by TCB Companies delivers that boost of confidence to be my best. Authentic Brand gear can do the same for you or your entire workforce. Outfit your life with Authentic Brand gear by TCB Companies. And don't just do it in Authentic Brand.
Puck Talk with Coach Fran McCaffery continues from the Hyatt Regency Edgewater Grill and Bar. Welcome to our Authentic Brand guests tonight. Some special guests courtesy of Authentic Brand. Larry Wilkin of Coralville. Larry, stand up, take a bow. Glad to have you and Connie here with us tonight. Winner of Hawkeye apparel and dinner from Authentic Brand. A proud partner not only outfitting our broadcast crew, Bobby and I, and Ed Podolak come football season, but outfitting thousands of fans on game day. If you'd like to sign up to win apparel and dinner from Authentic Brand, go to HawkeyeSports.com. Outfit your life in Authentic Brand gear and give your personal and professional image a boost at Authentic-Brand.com. Thanks to Clark Fessler and the crew out in Perry, Iowa.
Hey, Dolph, on top of that, all those T-shirts they gave out last night? Authentic Brand.
Thank you for reminding me of that. All those,
they were a big hit.
They were a big
hit.
And
thank you, Clark.
Script Iowa, gold shirts across the chest. Thank you, Clark Fessler and Authentic Brand. And they were in hot demand. I wonder if
I'm still getting requests.
Can you still order? I'm guessing you can order those online, can't you?
Clark's got a bunch of them.
Yeah, come on, Clark. I love the Authentic Brand gun. They shoot the shirts into the stands deeper than J-Bo's threes, which is hard to do. Boy, when he whacked those two last night, I love that term. Whacked a couple through. Those were deep.
They were deep, and you know it's interesting because obviously over time teams have started picking him up that high, but one of the reasons to move him back to the point, he's able to get those shots off easier when he's playing point guard than when he's playing shooting guard.
Genius coaching move.
Yeah,
5-1 since J-Bo went back to the point.
He's just better with the ball.
Yeah.
He's always had it. In high school, you get 44 in the sub-state final. He's got it. He decides when he shoots it, not when somebody else decides.
Coach, Nebraska, second time around in Lincoln on Friday night. Pinnacle Bank, tough place to play.
Really tough place. Very well attended every game. I mean, great crowds over there. We'll have quite a few Hawk fans over there, as you know. There'll be a lot of black and gold.
A lot of Western Iowa fans.
All of our fans over that part of the state. they have talent. Bryce McGowan's
freshman of the week in the Big Ten.
Good chance to be the freshman of the year in our league. He's probably going to go in the first round. Alonzo Verge, the transfer from Arizona State. Wilcher, the transfer from Xavier. Walker, Lat Mayans, Webster, the transfer from Western Carolina. They have a lot of guys who can score the ball. And the key for us is to keep playing with the same defensive intensity that we've been talking about that creates transition opportunities, get out and run. Got to do that. And just constantly keep the pressure on them because they have a lot of really good one-on-one players and they just go. So our defense has been really well connected recently. And that's what it takes. When we beat them here, it was, and that has to be the same. If you're casual at all, they have too many guys who can score.
Athletic guys that can get to the rim. Time for another break. We'll come back with more Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency with Coach McCaffery right after this, courtesy of Learfield.
American Equity salutes today's hero of the game and is a proud sponsor of the ongoing recognition of our military at Hawkeye games this season. Thank you to all the men and women, past and present, who have served our country and allow all of us to enjoy the freedom and liberty we enjoy today. American Equity's vision is to become the premier insurance company specializing in retirement savings and income products. To learn more about our company, please visit our website at american-equity.com.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
What are you craving? The Wig and Pin in Ankeny, across from DMAC, is proud to offer dine-in and carry-out. Home of the famous Flying Tomato Pizza and Chicago-style deep dish, The Wig has all of your favorites, including thin crust pizza, appetizers, lots of sandwiches like the Turkey Club and Reuben, soups and salads you'll love, and a full bar. Call to order or just come on in for lunch and dinner. The Wig and Pin in Ankeny. What are you craving?
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few 2-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
It's a new season. Get ready for more men's and women's college sports excellence. Trophies will be awarded in June to schools who take the top spot in the 2021-22 Learfield Directors Cup. The premier award recognizes one winning institution in all competitive divisions. Follow your favorite team's progress as seasonal standings are announced at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at directorscup.org. The crowning achievement in college athletics.
Back to our show here at the Hyatt Regency in the Edgewater Grill and Bar with Hawk Talk and Coach Fran McCaffery, Bobby Hansen. Gary Dolphin will be on the air at 7 o'clock on Friday night from Lincoln and Pinnacle Bank Arena as the Hawkeyes take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Iowa won the first game here in Iowa City, 98-75. The Hawks drained 10 threes a couple weeks back and logged 39 field goals. That had to be almost a high water mark for the season, if not the best. But the Hawks shooting well, but they're getting it done on the defensive end and rebounding as well. But Nebraska's always a tough out. So join us for the Hawks and the Huskers on Friday night. Let's take this one off Twitter, Coach, before we conclude our program tonight. Mark's out in Oregon listening in on Twitter or Facebook. I would love to see the Hawks play a home-and-home with the Beavers. Any plans to do so in the future? Well, I think it begs the bigger question. You know, the Pac-10 and the Big Ten have been talking about in football and basketball about starting maybe a Pac-10, a Big Ten challenge of their own kind. But played Oregon in the tournament. It's a great intersectional match. How about Dana Altman in Oregon?
I thought he said the Beavers. Did he say the Beavers?
Yeah, he did say the Beavers.
That's Oregon State.
Ralph Miller.
Well, he said Oregon. All right, I got Oregon on one sentence and the Beavs. How about the Ducks?
Catch, Frank.
How about the Ducks? We got animals all over the place. All right, you pinned me on that one. You got me.
Well, I think you make a good point, Dolph. I mean, we have that coalition or loose organization, the ACC, the Pac-12, the Big Ten. Does the Big East, Big Ten challenge go away, and we do a Pac-12, Big Ten challenge? Are we going to play each other in basketball and other sports? Are we going to take our teams west a little bit more than we have? We've pretty much gone east, especially since our league expanded east.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of discussion there. I'm a big fan of Wayne Tinkle at Oregon State. We were on the NCAA Ethics Coalition together. He's actually the chairman of our group. And we had a meeting today to talk about a lot of things. So, I think it's a possibility. It's one of those things where when you start going to the West Coast to play, you have to be intelligent with how you schedule. Both whether you're coming east or whether we're going west.
Two time zones.
It takes a lot out of your team.
It does.
So you got to make sure how you schedule after. Give yourself a little bit of time to recover. But I think those would be good made-for-TV situations. Especially with the way we're affiliated now.
A lot of good players.
Yeah, I think it's probably coming.
With TV? Exactly. Yeah. All right, Coach. Good answer, good question. The Oregon State Beavers or the Oregon Ducks? We'll play them both. We'll spend a week in the state of Oregon. All right, back to wrap up Coach McCaffery and Hawk Talk right after this from Learfield.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly transformed Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center. Located in the heart of the Iowa River Landing, walking distance to Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeyes volleyball team, as well as some great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency is the new home of Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery this fall. Come find your place at Hyatt Regency, where we care for people so they can be their best.
Thanks to Matt and the crew here at the Hyatt Regency, and especially inside the Edgewater Grill and Bar. Our bartenders, our wait staff, they've been tremendous all night long, as they have been all season long. The fully stocked bar at the Edgewater Grill has some great drink options for those looking to try something new. For you bourbon and whiskey fans, they have the new Whiskey Flights, offering over 50 varieties to choose from, including some hard-to-find specialties like Buffalo Trace, Blanton's, and Whistle Pig 15. For other types of spirits, the bar's current featured cocktails include some exciting new options like Violet Fog, Peanut Butter Cup, Jalapeno Mojito, and Caribbean Storm. Stop in at the Hyatt Regency and take in all the fare here at the Edgewater Grill and Bar. We're into our final minutes with this week's Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. Fran, we lost Henry Tippie this past weekend. Henry, an incredible supporter of the university, both with his wallet and with his vocal support. He went to Iowa, grew up dirt poor on a farm out near Belle Plaine. Great supporter of Hawkeye athletics, but beyond that, as you well know, the Tippie School of Business, or business school, one of the finest in the country, and you being a Wharton grad can understand how important Henry Tippie and the Tippie family has meant to not only athletes but all students on campus.
Yeah, very proud. Connor will graduate, this spring from the Tippie School of Business here at the University of Iowa. So he really loved his experience in the business college, and he's a finance major, and his girlfriend's a finance major, and she graduated and has a great opportunity in Chicago. Really prepares our students to go out and be successful. But you're right, Mr. Tippie, what a hawk. Just a great hawk, on so many different levels. But his commitment to our athletic department in particular and our student athletes is greatly appreciated. But it's across the board. It's our athletes, but it's our students as well. And I know he was really proud of what we do on the athletic field and on the court, but very proud of our institution and very philanthropic in helping us be great, as he appreciated what it did for him. We'll miss him.
The Tippies certainly put the student and student athlete, our sympathies to Pat and the entire Tippie family. Coach, we got about 45 seconds left. A couple early keys to a victory over the Huskers on Friday night. Of course, great starts to the game like last night are important.
Yeah, you got to be locked in. Last 2 games in particular, we're locked in at both ends. Our execution offensively has been really good. Our defensive intensity has been really good. Leads to great transition opportunities where we've made great decisions. We've gotten great play from a lot of different people. And that all needs to continue.
Coach, we'll see you out in Lincoln.
Look forward to it, Dolph.
Bobby, thank you as always.
All right, buddy boy, we'll catch up tomorrow on that road to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Down out I-80 we go for the Hawks and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Join us at 7 o'clock for the pregame show on Friday night, and we'll tip it off at 8 o'clock. Till then, good night, everybody.
on the Hawkeye Sports Network. From Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular, today's game, brought to you by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. And by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.